This is Dad's Wallet, where we help you save money and build lasting wealth. Today we're going to be breaking down many different ways to save for a new baby. This could be something coming up in your future or some other big expense, houses, cars, vacation. So think of this as an exhaustive list that's going to be helping you save for those large expenses coming up on your horizon that you're planning for. The first item on saving for a new baby is going to be, do you have at least $20,000 in savings? This is a round number and an estimate, but first you'll probably have to pay some out-of-pocket expense for having this baby. Now, typically, delivery costs range from $30,000 to $50,000 or greater. And if you don't have insurance, then that could be out of pocket for you. Now, a normal pregnancy typically costs that, and it averages around $4,500 with insurance coverage. But many costs out there aren't going to be included. And if you're a parent that is at risk or has some other circumstances around the pregnancy that could add to that expense, you want to be trying to plan ahead for that and speaking with your doctor on what to expect coming down the road. Now, plan to have at least $20,000 in the bank above and beyond what kind of emergency fund you set aside for your family. And that's just an estimate. Maybe breaking down some of these future items and categories that we're going to be discussing is going to help you really hone in on what that number is. Second thing to consider when having a new baby is your debt under control. Now, if not, aim to have your debt at manageable levels. This means paying down especially those high interest loans. And keep in mind, expenses add up and they can be urgent. And so having a child can create a situation where you can cause debt to compound if you're not managing it appropriately. Chipping away at it before the baby shows up is going to give you a lot of peace of mind and is going to make everything go smoother. Third thing to consider when having a baby, will your loved ones help with childcare? One of the biggest expenses when having a child is going to be childcare. If you have to return to work, for you, your partner, or both, having a close friend, family member that can share in some of the childcare is going to make the situation much easier for you. Raising a child without family nearby is totally possible. But you're going to have to start researching daycares, nannies, and different sort of parenting co-op situations where you can find solutions that fit your budget in your area. Infant care for brand new babies can be as cheap as $200 a week all the way up to $600, $700, $800 a week. And so it's totally going to depend on your area and what kind of services you need. So start doing that research now. Fourth thing to consider when having a new baby, is someone going to throw you a shower? Shower is a great tradition in American culture where we're going to be receiving gifts as new parents, or the community gathers around and, like a village, is going to be providing support for that growing family. This could be car seats, strollers, bouncers, and all these things are going to cost thousands of dollars and really add up, especially if you're not frugal and buying secondhand. Now, at bare minimum, you're going to need to consider a brand new car seat just for safety and peace of mind purposes. So that expense alone is going to be a few $100s and is a perfect example of something that people can pitch in for, and you can help raise that money from loved ones, friends, and family around you. And so don't think of a shower as a situation where you're going to have to feel like charity or like greedy in any way. If you approach it with a posture of, this is an opportunity for everyone around me to be able to provide at whatever level they're comfortable with and whatever they want to provide to help support us, I think that this is a great opportunity for you to celebrate a new baby coming down the road into your life, and think of this as a way for you to be able to have an open hand and accept other people's generosity. Please take this moment to like, follow, comment, subscribe. This interaction with these posts, it directly translates into support for me and my understanding of what you appreciate and value from this content. Fifth thing to consider when having a baby, do any of your friends close by have babies? If you're buying clothes for yourself, it's hard to resist, and it's doubly hard to resist when you're buying clothes for a new child in your family. I know this personally, and I know that we've benefited from friends and family around us who are one step ahead of us in life and have hand-me-down clothes that we're able to use for our child. This is also something that if you don't know anyone personally, maybe you just moved into a new area, this is something where you can find online with Facebook Marketplace, with Instagram, with all kinds of different solutions out there, different neighborhood community boards and things like that, that you can be finding some of these resources that is going to severely offset your upfront cost for being able to provide what this baby needs. And borrowing clothes and toys, plus maternity outfits and different sort of equipment that you need for different stages of life, it's going to save you big money. And it's not something uncommon. Don't feel uncomfortable with asking, hey, is there any way that I could borrow that for a few months? I'll be happy to give it back. Maybe they're expecting to have another child down the road years from now. But this is something they may say, please take it off our hands. We'd love for someone to be able to use it. And so really consider the different communities and networks of support that are around your growing family. Number 6 on our list when planning for a new baby, consider if you're going to be nursing or bottle feeding, or if you're going to be exclusively using formula or some combination of the two. Not only is nursing incredibly healthy, and there's a lot of studies out there to support using breast milk, but you'll also save at least $1,500 just in the first year alone by using what God's already given you to provide nutrients for your baby. And so really consider the cost of some of those little things that tend to add up. And what we do personally is a combination of the two. And so there's many times where formula is super helpful in a pinch. I can think of last night as a specific example. My wife has a work event. She's out in the evening, meeting with some other people out in the community. And I'm here having to feed with a bottle, and it's not a bad thing. If anything, it's a great opportunity to be able to do both. This is a bonding time for your baby, for both partners in the relationship. And using a combination of the two, you shouldn't be worried about that as a solution. There's both of those options are there for you. Just consider the cost and implications of either or both. The 7th thing to consider when having a new baby is what not to buy. This list is growing pretty quickly, and there's a lot of things that are being added on that you're going to need to accumulate throughout the process. But there's plenty of things that are out there that are just gimmicks and unnecessary or downright dangerous. For example, you may be gifted, or you may be inclined to go out and buy crib pillows, crib bumpers, bassinets that have like those solid fabric sides. They're possibly cute and maybe something that you wanted to have as an idea of comfort, but they're completely useless and downright dangerous. So that's one example of something that can be a hazard to your child, and maybe one generation ago was a trendy thing, but it's something that you probably want to set aside, especially for infants and those newborns. There's plenty of other toys out there and different things you may think that your baby needs for stability and strength and comfort, and just to be able to try to be as compassionate a parent as possible, but really consider the implications on what your baby is going to need developmentally stage by stage, and really consider whether or not that money would be best put towards some of these gimmicky items and toys and tools out there versus the true basic necessities that's going to help them become the happiest, healthiest child down the line. When it comes to things like diapers, think big. Now, when you're planning to have a new baby, lugging home one of those like 200-300 count cartons of diapers from Costco or Sam's Club, it's gonna be worth it. You're gonna be saving hundreds of dollars a year, because some of those diapers, when you look at the cost per diaper, it's sometimes half or a third as much as buying individual packs of 50 or 60. 50 or 60 sounds like a lot. Trust me, it's not. These things are going to grow exponentially. If you got 2 kids under 2 like we did for a little while, that's a lot of diapers, and it's time to buy in bulk for some of those items. When planning for a new baby and buying all these cool things out there, keep in mind where you're going to be going and some of the different tools that are actually going to be useful. Now, I suggest keeping a baby care kit bag in each car. So if you and your loved one has 2 separate cars, or maybe a grandparent is going to be carting around the kids a lot, go ahead and create a bespoke baby care bag. Make sure it contains at least 3 diapers. Go ahead and put 6 to 10 in there. A tube of ointment. I love Aquaphor. I don't know what's in there other than like maybe the lanolin and the Vaseline, but man, that stuff is amazing. Travel pack of wipes, extra outfits for you and your child, especially if they're drinking from a bottle and you got those spit up situations. And if your child eats solid foods, make sure you pack snacks, teething toys, some of those vegetable puffs. Really go ahead and take care of the child and take care of a travel kit, and make sure that you've got one wherever the child's going and in transit in between. When you plan ahead for some of those things and you start to really make your purchases intentionally and consciously of where your child's going to be and what their needs are going to be, you'll start to see where the value is. And so I suggest buying these items in bulk, divvying them up, and really in all categories and areas, when you're planning for a new baby, be conscious and conscientious of where the baby's going and what their needs are going to be. Location by location, stage by stage. These are the kind of things that are going to make your life easier and is going to save you money in the long run. Here are 3 TikTok videos worthy of reactions.
These 12 sentences about personal finance taught me more than my $80,000 business degree. And number 12 is the most important one. Like it or not, who you choose as your spouse is a financial decision as well as an emotional one. Choose wisely. Prioritize having a 3-month emergency fund. Unexpected expenses will arise. Don't get caught with your pants down. After the emergency fund, prioritize paying off high interest debt. You're not going to outinvest a 20% interest rate that you have on a credit card.
So far, I'm loving it, and number 2 and 3 are tracking right along with our roadmap to financial success.
Have a budget. A good basic framework is 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings and investments. Invest your money. You will work until you die if you don't. Low-cost index funds are a good way to do this. If you borrow money for college, make sure it's for a high-paying career path so you're at least able to pay the loan back. Prioritize your health. Exercise, eat healthy. A healthy person has a million wishes. A sick person only has one. Saving $5 on college.
I don't think I've ever heard that quote. I like that a lot. It sounds like a proverb of somewhere. I'm going to have to look up where that came from later.
Coffee isn't going to make you rich. Saving money on the bigger decisions, the ones that end in zeros, like your home or your vehicle, will go much further.
Oh, amen. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen these influencers saying, well, if you just cut out, everyone talks about avocado toast and, saving $5 on a Starbucks coffee. Yes, those small things add up, but they're at their core small things. A lot of people step over dollars to try to pick up pennies, and you want to be focusing on the biggest bang for your buck when you're making these financial decisions.
Live below your means. 64% of people live paycheck to paycheck, but you don't have to be one of them. Learn from the ones that did it before you. Read books, listen to podcasts. More learning, less Netflix. Automate your finances, bills, savings, investments. This is going to make your life a lot easier. Finally, trying to get rich quickly is how a lot of people end up broke.
I love that. Learn from those around you. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. This is going to provide you some of this content that is going to be digestible, something that you can use today, right now. And all these get-rich-quick schemes, I mean, I've seen people that have made life-changing decisions for better and for worse just from exposure to some of the information on the internet. And this is something where keeping simple, straightforward solutions to some of these big life money questions is at the core of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so here at Dad's Wallet, you're going to see a lot of these kind of, these, it sounds redundant, stay out of debt. Don't try to get rich quick, and don't try to make these big money moves in a way that's going to have outsized risks for small returns. And so I see, I had a conversation with someone this week who their investment strategy was simply invest in what you know. So they started investing in these huge multi-billion-dollar multinational conglomerate companies, thinking, well, I understand, I'm in this industry, so I understand everything about what this company's about. And that's just not the case. And so sometimes, 95% of those people are going to end up losing money comparing to an index fund. And frankly, he'd probably be better off just going and playing at the blackjack tables. He's got better odds there than he does actually trying to pick individual investments and trying to get rich in a short time frame. So this is one of those situations where, taking in this information and really making it your own is going to really, propel you into your future financial health.
I'm 23 and finally feel like I'm getting my financial shit together, so here's 5 financial things I wish I did sooner in my 20s. Last time I did this, somebody came for me because I'm only 23, so I'm still early in my 20s, but I just want to help people who are younger, so please don't come for me.
Younger than 23. God, I feel so old now.
I get it. I'm still young. Number 1, get a high yield savings account. Put this very simply, high yield savings account is essentially just allows you to make money off of the savings that you have in your account.
Oh, especially these days with rates as high as they are, if you don't have a high yield savings account, you could be going online and in less than an hour opening an account, transferring money into it and start generating, I mean, I've seen anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5%, which may not seem like a lot when you're aiming for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% gains, especially if you're thinking like you're going to be only investing in things like what you've experienced in the real estate market recently. But these high yield savings accounts, they're a great place to be in right now, especially if you're accumulating wealth and you're having a war chest getting ready to deploy into investing in yourself, investing in markets, investing in your future.
There's literally no reason that you shouldn't have one. I have Ally Bank and I love them. They currently have a 1.25 APY. Number 2, using cashback apps. Why wasn't I doing it? Gas is so freaking expensive right now. Okay, so use the app Upside, you'll get cashback on your gas. I've made like $50 so far, which I think is pretty good because it takes literally no effort at all to use. Number 3 is getting a credit card that I actually like and one that's going to give me rewards I actually want. My first credit card was a Discover It, and I like them, but the rewards are underwhelming. I now have a Chase Sapphire Preferred and I love the rewards already. I need a part 2.
Speaking about underwhelming, I mean, the Chase Sapphire Preferred rewards, we're talking about like a penny on a dollar and rewards as far as value goes. Maybe if you're using the travel portal, if you're 23 like her and you have a great income and you're expecting to do a lot of traveling, there's, those rewards can accumulate. If you own a business and you're seeing yourself doing a lot of those things, then maybe it's worthwhile for you. But the trap is so many people that are living paycheck to paycheck thinking a credit card is going to be a solution to their problem. And a lot of times it's an income side issue that you need to be investing in yourself to be able to earn more so that you'll have more dollars to put to work for you. And that value is going to compound over time. But these little rewards, and they are little, we're talking about a 1% difference, is not going to move the needle. If I was thinking about 5 financial things in my 20s, this is not the top 5 that I would be considering. The number one thing that you should be doing, in my opinion, if you're in your 20s, is investing in yourself and your earning ability, because your income is going to be the greatest driver for your financial health for the rest of your life.
Content creators are wrestling with these difficult questions of this sort of weird meta like hellscape that it is to be online. It's weird and it's complicated, and the kids know it and they sense it. They're coming for every second of your life. That's what these companies are coming to. This company as well. And it's not because anyone is bad. It's not because anyone in this company has evil plans or is trying to do this. They're not even doing it consciously. It's because these companies like Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and everything, they went public and they went to shareholders. So they have to grow. Their entire models are based off of growth. They cannot stay stagnant. Twitter grossed $4-5 billion last year. It is in the red. It is unprofitable. It has to get more of you. No matter how nice it's trying to be, it is all that they're trying to get more engagement from you. We used to colonize land. That was the thing you could expand into, and that's where money was to be made. We colonized the entire earth. There was no other place for the businesses and capitalism to expand into, and then they realized human attention, that they are now trying to colonize every minute of your life. That is what these people are trying to do. Every single free moment you have is a moment you could be looking at your phone and they could be gathering information to target ads at you. That's what's happening. So like, as much as we can, have really good conversations and try to humanize the conversations, the mechanism of the business is rolling towards that just because of the market. So it's coming. It's coming for every free second you have. And that's dark. That's really, really dark and scary. And for someone like me, I grew up a little bit on the internet. And I've felt the repercussions of it. I suffer from anxiety. So I know where it leads. And I'm saying, you don't want this. Trust me. You're not going to feel good about yourself. And you know it. The kids know it. Like, the whole joke on the internet is everyone's like, this place sucks, right? I mean, like, that's like kind of the thing. That's why their memes are all ironic and detached and self-referential and 12 layers deep, because truth is completely dead to them, and they know it. They look at the president, they look at the culture, they go, what the hell is this? They look at, like, Coca-Cola commercials that are winking at them and smiling, and they go, like, forget it, you know? So, like, ugh, I have no idea what's going to happen.
This is a powerful video, and you may be wondering to yourself, hey, Dan, what does this have to do with money and every topic you ever talk about? Now, culture is going to drive so much of our perceptions, and our perceptions are going to impact the way that we engage with money in our lives, and just like our relationships, just like our careers, and just like our personal health. So when I look at a video like this, and I see, it's Bo Burnham talking, and he's unpacking how an entire generation has this a sort of built-in pessimistic view of the culture and what the culture is both feeding and into their psyche, and also how they're responding to it. It's basically a whole bunch of this is dry darkness being fed in, and we just regurgitate memes back out into the system and just rinse repeat. And so if you're someone who maybe you're in your 20s, 30s, maybe you're having a renaissance of self, 60s, 70s, 80s, and you still feel that you're caught in this cycle as well, I think that it's important to really focus on what you're consuming and what kind of information you're taking in and how you're responding to it, because this is going to directly impact how you engage in your life, and it's not hopeless. I see so many people out there. The number one comment and the number one response I get to any content I create is just, well, it's like, sounds great, but I'm living paycheck to paycheck and there's no hope. There's no way out. And there's no future for me. There's no hope for my family. We're going to be in debt forever. And that's just not true. That's not the reality that we live in. And the more that we can really fight against that and counterform what society is telling us to do and think and feel and say, the most precious resource that you have in your life is your time, and how you spend those seconds. I know that there's huge, massive companies out there that are vying for every second that you have to spare, and how you spend those is going to inform how the rest of your life goes. And so if you find yourself spending all your time constantly scrolling, if you find yourself in a vicious cycle, consume good content that's going to encourage you to get out there and make positive change in your life and the lives of those around you. And so, go ahead and like and subscribe this content. I hope you do. I hope you really enjoy what I'm putting out there into the world. And I hope that you take this information. I hope you do subscribe and you show up tomorrow or next week or next month, when I'm going to still be here creating some of this information and helping you financially. And I want it to spill over to other parts of your life, because how you engage with money is going to be the biggest indicator of how you view yourself in the world and where you see your future. So please do provide a comment of what your challenges are, what questions you have, and I'll address those in future videos. The question and answer for today: how do you find all of your parents' accounts after they die? Here's the question. My dad passed away 2 weeks ago. Both my parents have had dementia, but my dad's was worse than my mom's. But Dad had been in charge of all the financial stuff prior to his diagnosis. So it's been a pain trying to find details on all their accounts. He has random annuities and stuff all over the place, and he created some notes about 10 years ago before his dementia set in. So I have some big ideas where to look, but I'm honestly a bit overwhelmed and afraid I will miss something big. Is there some way doing a search for all of his accounts in his name? So this is a common challenge that a lot of people go through, and I'm so sorry for your loss. This is a tough time, and grief is going to be a process, and I really just hope and pray that that you find yourself, it could be days, weeks, years later, where you can find a little bit more peace. And man, money problems, they're just going to amplify the good and the bad. And so you're in the middle of it now. And this is just another situation where money is just going to amplify some of those stressors that you're feeling. So let's try to break down some of those stressors and make your life a little bit easier. Try to locate some income tax files. They're going to have info on where your loved one, your father, had received interest, dividends, income, etc. And that's going to help begin to lead you down a path towards your understanding of their financial situation at their current place in time. Personally, I don't think that accessing accounts after death using your deceased parents' credentials is going to be the best route right out the gate, because I know many people who have tried to basically log into an account and have gotten locked out for a long period of time. So in order to make both of those steps a little bit smoother, consider if you can get a power of attorney from your mom that's still alive if she's a joint account holder, because that sort of credential is going to give you access to the information you need and hopefully some of the people that can help you along the way. So if they were filing their taxes on their own, which I sure hope he wasn't, for the past 10 years with dementia setting in, but maybe there's someone that with a power of attorney can help give you access to that information. But it'll be a lot easier if you have the legal right to go and act on their behalf, both of them together. So for the rest of us, help out your loved ones by having a plan, having all your financial in one secure location with updated beneficiaries on all your accounts. And so, when you have your first child, that's an amazing time and a key time to update who the beneficiary is on various accounts that you have. It could be a cash account with a few dollars. It could be a life insurance plan that's set up to provide for them in your absence. And so make sure you have all that information updated when you get married, when you have a kid, when you have a big life change like that, and put it all in one secure location. We have a fire safe in our house. I think I bought it at Walmart for $30-$40. And it's one of those perfect examples of an investment. I've got a loved one that has a key to it. I know that my wife and I know where the other key is, and we know we have access to it. And there's a file in there that is, if I die, here it is. Here's everything lined up for you. It's got insurance policies. It's got bank statements. It's got investment brokerage accounts. It's got deeds and title to different property that we own. It's got all the information you need, not just like in some sort of spreadsheet online that's going to have all your information super vulnerable out there, but make sure it's in a secure place in an understandable format. And then the next step, you have all your accounts updated, you have everything secured in a known location, then it's time to review it. It's time to sit down with your loved ones and have that hard conversation of, hey, if I'm not here, this is how you're going to handle X, Y, and Z. And so those conversations could be uncomfortable, but they're so important to have. So take these steps. Everyone needs to be doing this no matter what stage of life you're in, and make sure that you have a plan so that you don't become a burden on your loved ones in a worst case scenario.